GTV welcomes you to the following presentation of Grizzlies High School Sports.
So here we are at Goffstown High School. I'm here with Butch Gifford. My name is Scott Gross, and we're having a wonderful day of softball with the Goffstown High School Grizzlies taking on Oyster River. Very competitive game expected today. So how you doing today, Butch? And the first pitch is hit sharply to short. Jenna Indigaro throws out the first batter. And by the way, that was Kendall Bird for Oyster River. So that started off pretty quick. First pitch, first swing. So now up for Oyster River's number 11, Sam Walker. And that pitch is a ball. So very exciting today, Butch. Again, this should be a pretty competitive game. Yesterday, Goffstown took on Manchester West and prevailed 16-2. That ball is hit and loops over the shortstop's head. Hannah Baldiga quickly throws it in to the second baseman, Michaela Fleming. And there's a runner on for Oyster River. Here we are in the top of the first inning. Oh, yeah, it does. So now up is number 7, Caitlin Miller. And that's a strike right down the middle. So in case some of you might not know, the pitcher is Emma Campbell. And Emma, fortuitously, has been doing very well. She stepped in for an injury that was sustained by Anna Strong. Anna tore her ACL and is recuperating, and Emma Campbell has done a phenomenal job stepping in for the pitching duties. That's a hit to second base. Michaela Fleming throws out the runner, and the first base runner advances to second base. So we've got a runner on second with 2 outs with the cleanup hitter at the plate. That's number 13, Rosie Tarvanian. That's inside for ball 1. That looked pretty close. Yeah, I think in these situations, you want to try to prevent someone like Rosie to extend her arms and really get a hold of one. And obviously with a little bit of a taller batter, you've got a little bit of a bigger strike zone. So we've got a 1-1 count here with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. And another strike pitch. So Emma Campbell is doing very well with her placement. She's in a good position here with a 1-2 count. Let's see what she throws here. And that ball is also hit to second base, and that is, unfortunately, that's an error on the second baseman, Michaela Fleming. And unfortunately, that's been Goffstown's issue so far. It's making some of those plays to end innings. So now Coach Fleming is going to be coming and talking to the infield. So I'm not sure what happened on that petition. Did she get hurt?
I didn't see it, actually.
Okay.
I didn't see what happened. It looked like a fairly easy ground ball.
Yeah. All right, well, now Goffstown is trailing by 1-0. Now there's a runner at first base. And again, that's a little bit of a mental lapse, too, because even though there was an error on the second baseman there, you have to stay alert because that other runner came in all the way from second. So it's good base running by Oyster River. And that ball is fouled. So Emma Campbell's making pretty quick work. She's doing everything that a pitcher needs to do here, pitching strikes. And now the infield and the outfield has to do their jobs. So now at the plate is number 5, Cheyenne Milano. Nice stop by the catcher. Olivia St. Jean. So as we go through the lineup, our first baseman is Jasmine Cologne. And the pitch, that one also is low. Our second baseman is Michaela Fleming. Shortstop, Jenna Indigaro. And third is Nicole Nanoff. We'll get to the outfield in a second. Nice pitch by Emma Campbell. So she's even the count now at 2-2. So we've got 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out. We're still in the top of the first with Oyster River leading 1-0. And that's a strike 3. So nice work by Emma Campbell. Oyster River does pick up a run on an error by second base. And we're ready for the Grizzlies' bats to come alive here in the bottom of the first. So how's everything going with you, Butch?
Everything's just perfectly. Everything's just going great. Middle school season has started. High school season has started. Goffstown really has a good team this year. And I think Coach Fleming's going to have a tough time on his hands next year because he's going to have 3 really good pitchers. And it's going to be very competitive. He's got 3 junior pitchers now. And they'll all be back next year. So.
Yeah, I would agree. So I think we faced Oyster. These names look very familiar. Did we face Oyster River in the playoffs last year? Because I remember some of these names.
Yes, we did. I believe it was in the first round, and then they faced John Stark in the second.
Okay, all right. Because like I said, there's some of these names that I do remember.
I believe the left-handed pitcher was here as well.
Correct. And I think we have a left-handed pitcher.
And they had a hard time with her for the first few innings, and then all.
Yes, I think it's all to deliver, and it was Caitlin Miller is the pitcher for Oyster River, and you have to get used to it. Just a different look, basically.
Left-handed pitcher comes across a little bit differently. You don't see too many left-handed pitchers.
No, you don't. And it looks like we have a left-handed catcher as well. So it's a lefty versus lefty. That is even rarer. You are correct. So I think the big thing for Goffstown is to get on the board and put that first inning. Well, actually, they did really well. I mean, I shouldn't say only picked up 1 run by Oyster River, but let's see what the Goffstown bats can do. So leading off the inning is Michaela Fleming, the second baseman. That's ball 1. So this is a much faster pitcher than what Goffstown faced last night.
Oh, that is true.
And that's in for a call strike. That's a 1-1 count. I suspect this game's going to move a lot quicker, too, than yesterday's game.
This game was a little hard to watch.
That ball's in the dirt for a 2-1 count.
Some games go smoothly and they're quick. Yesterday's game was just a slow, painful game.
All right, that was a good cut by Michaela Fleming. It's a 2-2 count now. She's got to protect the plate. And she lines one foul. So it's turned out to be a pretty nice day here in Goffstown. It was a little bit overcast and cloudy this morning when I woke up, and it looks like we're going to have a nice sunny day, and I would call it on Mother's Day Eve. It's the day that tomorrow is the day that we have to take care of all the moms. And then that is a strike 3 for Michaela Fleming. So nice pitch by Oyster River, Caitlin Miller. So now we have up is number 16, Allie Lombardi, who plays left field. And she also first swings, and she lines out to the first baseman, Cheyenne Milano.
You know what happens a lot of times when they face a pitcher like they did yesterday, who was kind of slow.
Slows your bat speed down. Yeah. That's a strike. So up right now is number 21, the third baseman for Goffstown, Nicole Nanoff. Cole Nanoff she has 2 consecutive games with home runs, and she's a little bit ahead of that one, and she's in a hole on a 0-2 count. So far, nice job by Oyster River's pitcher, Caitlin Miller. She's
It may just take them and a one-time throw to get used to it, that's all.
foul tipped and caught by the catcher. Nice job by number 13, the catcher. That's Rosie Tarvanian. And now at the bottom of the first inning, it's Oyster River 1, Goffstown nothing. So again, this is what we expected, a pretty competitive game from 2 quality teams in Division II. What I like about both these pitchers is they get right at it. You know, they don't have very slow motions. They some pitchers, Butch, as you know, they have very long time in between pitches. These 2 ladies, they make quick work, which is nice. So again, I wanted to at least let everybody know who's playing in the field. We have looks like, is that Tess Barbaro? Can't tell. Number 9, yes, it's Tess Barbaro. She's playing in that flex position, so she's in right field. Hannah Baldiga's in center, and Alyssa Lombardi. And Butch, if you can maybe scan over there, that's Alyssa Lombardi in left field, and behind the plate is Olivia St. Jean, and I'm sure you'll be getting some shots of her throughout the game. So in the batter's box for Oyster River is number 17, Sam Goodstein, and she's a little bit ahead of that one as well. She fouls it off. So my advanced scouting report tells me that seems like the more potent hitters on Oyster River are in the 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots. Obviously, in the game of softball or in baseball, that's a pop-up to third base. Nicole Nanoff makes easy work of that. Really you have to produce from all parts of your lineup. So let's see how Oyster River does now here in the top of the second inning. So up at the plate now is number 2, Elise Hanley. And the pitch is a little bit low for ball 1. And the coach for Oyster River is Glenn Overdeck. That one looked pretty good. That's probably a little bit inside perhaps. So it's a 2-ball, no strike count with 1 out in the top of the second inning. And that ball is grounded to third, and the throw. Again, this has been the issue. Relatively easy plays where the throws are sailing, and this is going to be Goffstown's challenge. There's no doubt about it. If they're going to do well in the future and do well in the playoffs, they've got to improve on their defense. So now up is number 3, Megan Campbell. So we've got a runner at second base on that throwing error by Nicole Nanoff. And that's a beautiful pitch by Emma Campbell. Emma has really, really good control of her pitches. Excellent placement. She seems to mix up different speeds and velocities, so it's a beautiful pitch. So now it's a 1-2 count. And I know that she's working very closely with Coach Sweeney, her pitching coach for Goffstown.
Yes, Coach Sweeney is a teacher at the middle school. She just came in this year.
That was a strike, and the runner advances to third. So that's a productive strikeout for Oyster River because it does advance the runner. All right, so now we've got 2 outs. And this one's an important out for Goffstown. You don't want that error to score, that runner at third base. So number 14 is at the plate. That's Madison Hertog. And that's a strike, chest high. That's strike two. I see that we have a special guest in the dugout, former Goffstown High School softball standout. I believe. I'm sorry, that's your daughter. Strike three. Very quick inning for Emma Campbell. And again, luckily for Goffstown, that throwing error did not come back and haunt them.
Yeah, usually that does. Usually you make an error like that.
Yeah.
And, usually score a run on that. But kudos to them.
Yeah, I tell you.
And shut them down.
I tell you, Coach Fleming could not be more pleased with Emma Campbell's performance so far this season. And today she's off to a very fast start. You know, what I like also about her is that she's what's that word? You know, she thinks about what she's pitching. She doesn't really seem to get rattled too much, and she's very focused. You know, really focused.
She has a lot of confidence on the mound.
Yeah.
She, her sister, as you know, pitched here last year until she got hurt with a concussion with
Right.
the head. So Haley is now at, I believe, Eastern Connecticut College.
And they're in the playoffs.
Yep, she's playing now. So Emma's doing really well this year. It's great to see. We've seen her pitch all through youth leagues, and now she's finally up here, and she's holding her own. She's doing quite well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So getting ready to bat is number 12, the shortstop, Jenna Indigaro. Jenna has a pretty good bat as well. So she's taking the signs from Coach Fleming. I'm quite sure that she will be hitting. She typically does not bunt. And she also pops one over luckily foul over the first baseman's head. So, again, Goffstown is not really taking a whole lot of pitches from what I can see at this particular point. If they like it, they're taking a swing.
Seems like they're late on their swings.
Yeah. And that's probably indicative of yesterday when they were dealing with a pitcher with slower velocity. And that's a beautiful play by the second baseman, and she's safe, though. So that's great hustle. You are correct, by Jenna Indigaro. So that was a tough play by the second baseman. She was able to get a glove on it, but that thing was smoked. And on that one, that was a tough one. So now we've got Nicole Anderson, number 72, at the plate. So we've got Jenna Indigaro at first. And there's a bunt, very well executed bunt to third, and the throw, she will be safe as well, and the runner goes to third. So a very well executed play by Goffstown softball, taking that first to third on a bunt. Beautifully done. You teach that in the younger leagues, and to see it executed here, picture perfect. So now we have Jasmine Colon, number 7. She's the first baseman. She's been on a pretty good hitting streak herself. She shows bunt and then takes it back for a strike. And again, textbook coaching, number 72, Nicole Anderson takes second base to eliminate the force. That's a pop-up bunt, and got to say I'm a little surprised. Jasmine has a pretty good stick. Not to say that I'm not used to seeing her bunt, but try to get a run. Yeah, trying to manufacture a run. I get that. So we've got a 0-2 count on Jasmine Colon, the first baseman. That ball's in the dirt. That gets away, and that's going to score a run. And the game is now tied. And the umpire is calling Nicole Anderson back to third. That ball is a dead ball. So it's tied up 1-1 in the bottom of the second inning. On that, I'm not sure if you call it. It depends who scores at what, whether it's a pass ball or a wild pitch. That was a little bit of both. And Jasmine Colon strikes 3 on that play. So now we've got Hannah Baldiga, the center fielder, 0-0. We've got a runner at third in Nicole Anderson. And that one nicked off the shoulder of the catcher, and she's waving off her coach. I think she seems to be okay, but she seems pretty tough.
Tough kid.
Yeah.
It hit her square on the shoulder.
Yeah. She says she's good. Wow, what a tough lady. That's Rosie Tarvainen, and great job, Rosie. So it's a 0, no balls and 1 strike to Hannah Baldiga. Shows bunt, and she also pops it up, foul. So now she's in a hole, 0-2 count. Nice job by the pitcher here, Caitlin Miller. She's just throwing it right at him. She's firing away. Very unintimidated. Let her defense make the plays. So Hannah Baldiga will be swinging away here. Off-speed pitch, and she pops it up to the shortstop, is under it, and that ball is caught for the second out. So now we got Emma Campbell. That was, as you were saying, that was kind of a perfect situation to kind of lay down a bunt as well and to lay it down to try to score another run. These are the types of things that, it's little, but, 1 run here, 1 run there, they all add up. So Emma Campbell takes a strike 1. Right. Yeah. And that ball is lined foul to the third base side, a little bit late on that swing. So also Emma Campbell is now in a 0-2 hole. So again, good pitching by Caitlin Miller here. She's getting ahead on a lot of counts, and she strikes out the side for Oyster River. So very nice pitching performance by Caitlin Miller, and Goffstown does eke out a run on some good base running, bunting, etc. So we've got a 1-1 tie score going into the top of the 3rd inning. Yeah, well, you know what? I think the kids want to be playing in these types of games. I mean, nobody likes to play in these 16-2 affairs. It's not good competition. It's just not. So there's a lot of chatter right now between Coach Fleming and his assistant Pete Bartlett. Not sure, maybe they had some signs or signals messed up, but they are conversing. Yeah, the game is. We're hearing a little bit of chatter also from our scoreboard operator, Brad Parkhurst, and he's just commenting on how fast this game is going. And, yeah, compared to yesterday's game, it's going much, much quicker. So, again, both pitchers are really on their game today. Emma Campbell for Goffstown and Caitlin Miller for Oyster River. And it's great to see 2 good pitchers playing. Here's another play to third base. And she fires, Nicole Nana fires to first. So that's typical Nicole right there. That's her potential. Very strong arm, very capable third baseman. And that's kind of what you need. You need to get a couple in there like that where, you get that confidence back. So that was Kendall Bird who did ground out to third base. So now up is Sam Walker, number 11. And that's a dead ball. She gets hit by a pitch. So that's I haven't seen that too often from Emma. I don't know if I didn't really see how close she might have lined up to the plate. Sometimes players do crowd the plate to kind of get those opportunities. But so now we've got the pitcher, number 7, Caitlin Miller, and that's a ball. So this is really the meat of the order for Oyster River. It's their 1, 2, 3, and 4 hitters who really produce the runs for this team. So these are the important outs. Well, that looked pretty good. It must have been slightly outside, and you could tell Emma seemed a little disappointed on that call. And that's another ball. So I don't know. Maybe they're. Yeah, that looked pretty good, and I don't know what our scorekeeper was thinking. Yeah. That one looked in a very similar position than the other two. That's a strike. So it's a 3-1 count to the pitcher, Caitlin Miller, who's having an awesome game pitching right now. That ball is popped up, Tough play, and that is dropped by Michaela Fleming and out, though, I would say, at second base. So Michaela was able to quickly recover. And again, fortuitous for Goffstown there that where that play was, but you got to kind of make that play.
I thought it was hit a little bit further where it was going to drop in.
Yeah. So, we've got 2 outs now in the top of the third with the cleanup hitter, Rosie Tarvanen, at the plate. And Emma Campbell delivers a strike 1. That ball's fouled. So Emma gets quickly ahead on the count, 0-2. So you talk about depth, and you talk about pitching depth next year. This team is also blessed with 2 really good catchers. And although Olivia St. Jean is handling duties behind the plate, the left fielder, Alyssa Lombardi, is also an exceptional catcher. She played JV and came up last year. And just, again, it's good to have that type of depth. So, yeah. So on that play, the Oyster River takes second base on a steal, and shortstop was a little bit late to cover on that one. This one's going out to left field, and underneath it is Alyssa Lombardi, and she hauls it in for out number 3. So we go into the bottom of the third with the score tied 1-1, and this is an awesome game at Goffstown High School today. 2 very evenly matched teams, 2 pitchers who are doing very, very well.
They may see themselves facing each other in the playoffs as well again.
Once again, I think it underscores, the whole defense. And, so far from what I've seen in some of the games that I've watched here is that this is the area that the team's going to need to improve the most upon. They have a pretty good batting order, and their pitching so far and their catching has been very capable. However, they have been making, in my opinion, too many unforced errors.
Yeah. Well, they always say defense wins championships, right?
But this is the area, where I think you have to, when you're in mid-season the way Goffstown is right now, this is where you have to start to begin to show that confidence and that steady improvement in your defense. Because as you get deeper into the season, especially into the playoffs, you're going to face good pitching, and you're going to have games like this one that are low-scoring games, and you have to make sure that you don't have too many of those unforced errors. So this game was, I guess, a makeup game from the harsh winter that we had, right, Butch? That's what I'm assuming.
From the harsh winter, I think it was because they had an issue over vacation week where they didn't have enough players.
Who did?
Oyster River.
Oh, and from what I'm told, it looks like Oyster River is only playing with 10 right now.
That is correct.
So leading off the bottom of the third inning is number 4, the catcher, Livy St. Jean. And she takes a call strike 1. That one looked pretty good, but I think she's being a little more patient, trying to see some pitches, which is a good thing. And she lines one past first base. That was a very sharply hit ball. And that goal, it's a nice job. Now let's see if she gets a runner. In girls softball, you can get a substitute runner for the pitcher and the catcher. And it looks like that is going to be the case. So number 18, Kate Mazurski, is coming in to run. And I've watched this girl, and this girl can fly. She is very fast. So leading off, I'm sorry. I would expect a bunt or a steal here because Kate is extremely fast. So Michaela Fleming, number 2, is at the plate. This is a perfect bunt opportunity. Another situation where maybe you can go go from first to third. But that one was a little bit too high to bunt, and you have to be patient. You got to have a good pitch to bunt. getting a little right. So, well, sometimes your emotions, your nerves get the best of you. And she appears to maybe have a hard time catching up with this fastball. So she's quickly in a 0-2 hole. And nice job, Michaela, hanging in there. So she got a little bit of a late swing. She's got to quicken up that bat a bit. Yep. It's going to go just due to the velocity of the pitch. And she goes down swinging. So next up is number 16, Alyssa Lombardi. And let's see if we've got anything else going on here in terms of any type of bunting opportunity. Allie also is a very capable hitter. And she takes a strike one. So far, Caitlin Miller is having an excellent game. She's got good command of her pitches. She's keeping Goffstown hitters off. And that ball is a wild pitch, and Kate Mazurski, as you can see, arrived rather quickly at second base. So, these are the situations where you do have to keep advancing your runners and scratch and claw to get runs. So, again, this is a tie game in the bottom of the third. And that ball is going to be in there. That's going to be trouble. That's going to go to the fence. So a run scores for the Goffstown Grizzlies, and Lombardi gets a double. So a great hit by Alyssa Lombardi, sharply struck, and nice job there. So Goffstown takes a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the third with the third baseman, the number 3 hitter, Nicole Nanoff. So we've got runner at second and another opportunity for Goffstown to add to their lead here. And that ball is popped up out of play to the, I call it the, it landed on the top of the batting cage. So that's a saved ball. And she hits one, and that's going to drop in. And there's going to be a play, and she's going to be going home. So Alyssa Lombardi will score. And Nicole Nanoff takes second base on an error by the left fielder. So that's a single and an error on the left fielder, allowing a run to score. Not that we're officially scoring this game, but if we were, that's the proper call. So the Grizzlies now have a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the third with a runner at second base in Nicole Nanoff. And the shortstop up at the plate, Jenna Indigaro, batting cleanup today. Jenna also has a good contact hitter, and she hits one sharply to right field, and that ball is going to score another run in Nicole Nanoff standing up. So a beautiful hit by Jenna Indigaro, and I think you're right. Maybe, maybe not you, Butch, but I think our scoreboard keeper here, Brad, who was talking about getting an opportunity for these ladies to go through the lineup once to get the speed of their bats in check. So Goffstown takes a 4-1 lead now with Nicole Anderson at the plate. And she's swinging away, and she's got a 0-1 count. So she's got a smile on her face. So Caitlin Miller's pitched a very good game, and now Goffstown seems to be catching up or finding their stride with her. And this is kind of important for Oyster River to settle down as well. Another ball, and that's going to be a quick double play. So that'll be that's exactly what Oyster River needed to stop the bleeding there. So Goffstown picks up 3 runs in the bottom of the third to take a 4-1 lead over Oyster River, and that was a great play by the pitcher, quite an athlete, Caitlin Miller.
Yeah, that was a great catch. And great vision about that.
To throw it, yeah. And I think on that one, I think Jenna was just caught in no man's land on that one. I mean,
Yeah, it looked like it was going up the middle.
Yeah.
It was going to be a base hit.
But the good news is that for Goffstown is that they did find their stroke in that part of the inning. So now we go to the top of the 4th inning, and Emma Campbell had a little bit of a respite there while her team's bats came alive, and
ball in play and see what happens.
I've always said when I used to coach the younger ones was, you got to get the ball in play and let the other team make the plays.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's half the battle. So this is a big half inning for Goffstown. They just picked up 3 in the bottom of the third. It would be I'm sure the coach Fulham will be very pleased if he can put this team down in the top half of the fourth. So,
This is a crucial inning, I think.
yeah.
If you shut them down here, you have a shot of shutting them down the rest of the way.
So now at the plate is number 5, Cheyenne Milano. That ball is in the dirt for a 1-0 count. Outfield is playing at regular depth. That was a nice off-speed pitch by Emma. And the count goes to 1-1. And that's a good cut. It's a 1-2 count. Way to hang in there by Cheyenne Milano.
Good time to throw another off-speed pitch, I think, right now.
I would agree. Or something inside. And that ball's hit to third to Nicole Nanoff, and she fires it over to first for the first out of the inning. So now up is number 17, Sam Goodstein, with 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning. And Sam jumps on a high one, and she fouls it off. She's got some pretty good hand-eye coordination, I can tell you, the batter number 17. That ball was at her head, and she was able to hit it.
Should have been ducking instead of
Yeah. She's got the best cleats on the field today. There's no doubt about that. So she is in a 0-2 hole right now, and that ball is maybe you call that a waste pitch, but that's now it's a 1-2 count for Sam Goodstein. And nice job fouling that off. Again, I think she likes the high ones. Yeah. So maybe that's what they're calling, to try to throw her out on a high fastball. But like I said, she's got pretty good bat speed. She's catching up to it. And a little bit of an off-speed pitch there. See, this is what I was talking about with Emma Campbell, is that she's working with her catcher. And I talked to her yesterday, during the game. She was up here, and we talked about that. And she said, she's very cerebral. She's constantly thinking about what works for a particular batter, and she's reading the book. She's talking to her coach. That's a bunt. And Olivia St. Jean, beautiful play. So that is exactly what Goffstown wanted. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Very nice play by Olivia St. Jean on that attempted bunt. Great throw over to first to retire Oyster River in the top of the fourth. So, again, that's really what you want. That half inning was the mark of a championship team if they can, again, quality pitching, great defense. It's all about focus. Yeah, I tell you, I'm having a hard time picking that up. I don't get the sense that it is the coach because I don't see her looking at her coach. I really see her focusing more with her catcher. And I, maybe after the game, if we do a post game interview, we can find that out. Absolutely. But when I was talking to Emma yesterday, she was telling me that she does look at the book. She tries to see, what pitchers. What the hitters did against her, and try to, pitch to what their weaknesses are. So she's constantly thinking. She, in my opinion, is a true pitcher. She has a pretty good velocity, but not overpowering. But she has excellent control And again, I think she keeps everybody off balance with her speeds and the variations of speed.
And I think at this level, that's all you need. You need pitch placement. You need off-speed work.
Right. She's extremely efficient. That's how I would describe her. A very efficient pitcher. So now up at the plate is Jasmine Colon, who I believe struck out her first time up. So she steps into the batter's box. So we've got Caitlin Miller, who has had a pretty good game so far. And that's a ball one to lead off in the bottom of the fourth. Oyster River's playing deep in their infield. That is a little bit of a slower swing there. So I think Jasmine's got to kind of pick it up a little bit, a little quicker bat if she's going to catch up to this. But if you probably can't see, Butch, if you can show the shortstop, she's playing really deep in the hole on for Oyster River. And now we've got a 2-2 count here. So Jasmine's going to have to protect the plate. We've got, surprisingly, we've got the left fielder also playing fairly deep. And Jasmine takes kind of a long swing there, and she strikes out.
Yeah, she needs to shorten up that swing.
Yeah, I would agree. So now we've got Hannah Baldiga. Let's see what Hannah does. Hannah does like to bunt.
Not that we're experts by any means, but
Hey, I am just simply paid to do the broadcast. So,
Hannah's going to get around a little bit quicker as well.
yeah, so Hannah has no balls, one strike here with one out in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Caitlin Miller blows another fastball by her. So Caitlin Miller, I mean, she struggled a little bit in that third inning, but she looks back to form, no doubt about it. And Hannah hangs in there on an 0-2 count. So Hannah Baldiga's battling. I said, I'm impressed with Caitlin Miller. I mean, she did give up a few runs, but she's coming back strong here in the bottom of the fourth to keep her team in this game. And that ball is hit that's going to drop, and she's going to get at least a triple on this one. And let's see if the cutoff is made. And that is a triple for Hannah Baldiga. Beautiful, a big smile on her face. That was a nice job, a great way to battle for Hannah Baldiga. She was in an 0-2 count, fouled one off, and then timed it perfectly. So now up is the pitcher, number 11, Emma Campbell. And it looks like she was, I don't know what that was. That was a bunt slap or something? I wasn't sure what that one was. And that's another ball. I don't know if that's a distraction technique or.
Pretty close because she's almost out of the box.
Yeah.
If she hits the ball,
Yeah.
she would be out.
So that's a 2 balls and 1 strike to Emma Campbell with a runner, Hannah Baldiga. So this is an important run for Goffstown to get some more insurance on the board. That ball was a little low.
I think you were right. I think it was just a distraction.
Yeah.
Just got
It was a little bit low for a 3-1 count on Emma Campbell. And she pops it up over the press box here to the outstretched arms of our scorekeeper, Brad. Yeah. So we've got a full count, 3-2 with 1 out to Emma Campbell. And she pops it up to the shortstop. And that's caught. Nice job by the shortstop. Number 11, Sam Walker. So now we've got 2 outs with Liv St. Jean. I believe she had a hit her last time up to the second, right on the second base side. Yep. And that's a call, strike 1. So again, aside from that poke by Hannah Baldiga, Caitlin Miller's had a pretty effective pitching performance here in the bottom of the fourth. Nice stop by the catcher. Really good stop. So we got a 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Goffstown's ahead, 4-1. And fouled off. So now we've got Livy St. Jean's in a bit of a hole here on a 1-2 count. So this is an opportunity for a pitcher like Caitlin Miller to, she can waste one here. No problem. Maybe throw something a little off speed in the dirt. Outside high. Right, nothing to hit. And that ball's going to land for a base hit. That scores an extra run, and that says she's taken 2. She's got really good speed for a catcher. I was going to say, I almost said a bad word there. It almost came out of my mouth, holy something, but I didn't say it. She's very fast. Yeah. So now she's getting another pinch runner in Kate Mazurski. So a nice job by Livy St. Jean driving in an insurance run for Goffstown, and now the score is 5-1. So at the plate is Michaela Fleming. Yeah, so Michaela Fleming still trying to figure out Caitlin Miller here. And again, I think it's a little bit more some plate discipline, not taking the high ones. And now Michaela, unfortunately, is in an 0-2 hole again. So let's see how we battle here. Softball's all about battles. And that ball is high, which you kind of knew that was coming. You could see that Caitlin Miller, just like Emma Campbell, I think, understands what these hitters are doing. Well, that one's close for comfort. That ball was a little close for me, too. That's a 2-2 count, so we got a lot of 2s up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, with number 2 at the plate. And Michaela Fleming strikes out. So that ends the bottom of the 4th inning. Goffstown picks up an insurance run on a triple by Hannah Baldiga and a single by Olivia St. Jean to drive in the run. So, again, a very competitive game. And once again, it looks like the coaches are talking it up. A lot of communication with the Goffstown Grizzlies bench.
Who do we have coming for the order this inning, Scott?
That's a good question. I don't know because I don't have a book in front of me. We're kind of low tech. It's not like we have the big screen.
We don't have the laptop
Right.
in front of us.
If I had Jerry Remy's contract, I'm sure we would have much more here.
This is true.
I still think I believe that we're still in the bottom part of the order. Yeah. So it's I believe it's the bottom part of the order, and I'll let you know in a second. And I am correct. It's number 3, Megan Campbell, the second baseman. And Megan's going to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Bunt. She's showing bunt for a strike 1. So, I always like that. I always like to show bunt because I think it forces the infield to make movement. And she offers at it, and that was another one where I think similar to what happened on a couple of Goffstown players, you got to pull back on that. That was over her head. So now she's quickly in an 0-2 hole as well. And that ball's hit to second base, and nicely played by Michaela Fleming. So that's a good way to get your confidence back on a ball.
I think their bunt defense for Goffstown is pretty steady.
Yeah.
You get a quick catcher. You have
A very good third baseman. Right.
and just quick off the mound.
Right. So now up is number 14, Madison Hertog. That ball's a little bit low for ball 1. So as you can see, I don't see the pitcher looking over to the coach at all. I just see her talking to her. She's just nodding to her catcher. So it,
That's good to see.
so we've got 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out. And that ball's right down the middle. Yeah, I think I happen to agree with you, Butch. I think, as these girls get to this level, they should be able to call their own games. A little bit high, 3-1. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if your mechanics are off a little bit and your coach can talk you through some of the mechanical issues, that's one thing. But I think calling the balls and strikes, it should be the job of the pitcher and the catcher. That's now a 3-2 count. I meant calling the pitches, not the balls and strikes. Strike 3. So it was interesting there. Olivia St. Jean called a pitch, and I don't know if you saw that. You probably didn't. You can't see that from your angle, but Olivia St. Jean called a pitch, and Emma called her off. Yes, she called her off, and yeah, I did. So we got 2 outs. That ball's hit to third. And a beautiful throw by Nicole. So again, another 1-2-3 inning for Goffstown, who now heads into the bottom of the 5th inning. So again, quick work for Emma Campbell. I am nothing but impressed with her so far. I mean, she's just pitched a great game. I'm sure her. Yeah. Well, she's got a cannon.
Nothing actually ever gets by her.
Yeah.
She may have a throw here now and then.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. So getting back to Emma, I will say, having coached with her dad Mark and her mom Colleen, I'm sure they're really proud of what she's doing this year for Goffstown, stepping in. Prior to the season, it was probably it might have been Anna Strong's job to lose in terms of being the starting pitcher. But I tell you, Coach Fleming's going to be in a real tough spot come next year. He's going to have 2 or potentially 3, as you said, right? Excellent pitchers.
Yeah, they also have Amber Davis, who
right.
actually pitched yesterday.
Yep.
Complete game, I believe.
Yeah.
So, it'll be tough.
But that is a good problem to have, in my opinion. Because from what I can see, and again, from what I remember from last year, Anna's more of a power pitcher, and Emma seems to mix it up a lot more and keep the batters more off balance. So it's almost like the best of both worlds that you have on your roster. So number 16, Alyssa Lombardi, is up, and she had a big hit last inning, and she fouls one off over the Oyster River dugout for 1 strike. That ball is going to be caught by the, oh no, it goes over her head. And that ball was, if I'm the official scorer, I think I'm going to give that one an error. So that would be an error on the center fielder. Yeah, Caitlin Miller is pitching a good game, and like I said, but in baseball and softball, it's all about defense, as you know, Mr. Scorekeeper. So now is Nicole Nanoff, and she lines one foul towards the third base side. So let's see if she keeps her home run hitting streak alive. She's hit 2 home runs in her last 2 games. So I'm surprised that we had the defense for West. They were pretty much on the warning track yesterday. That was a tough call by the umpire there. That ball looked a little bit high. No offense if you can hear me, Mr. Blue. So it's a 0-2 count. And that's a great pitch by Caitlin Miller. I mean, they have completely done their homework. Off speed. So, right. So now we've got 1 out with a runner at second base, who's Alyssa Lombardi, and Jenna Indegaro, who had a nice hit, I believe, to right field. And again, that's another smart base running by Alyssa Lombardi. And I know you can't see it on the screen, but she saw that nobody was around. The second baseman was a little lackadaisical, and she took a huge lead. So that ball's going to drop. And she's going to go home. And she will slide safe. And Jenna Indigaro takes second. So, again, this is why I love Alyssa Lombardi's play. I mean, she's so heady. I think she's probably one of the most intelligent players in terms of softball smarts on this team. She always seems to advance the bases and do the right thing. So great job by Alyssa Lombardi.
She started as a freshman, so
she's a great athlete, great kid. So now it's number 72, Nicole Anderson. So Goffstown picks up another run. We're 6-1 now in the bottom of the fifth. And Jenna Indigaro lands on second base with that error. And that ball, she fouls it off herself. That's why you wear a helmet.
Yeah, it actually hit her face mask.
Yeah.
And I was all against face masks until about 5 years ago when I saw a girl break her nose.
Yeah.
Although I see in college sometimes they don't wear them.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, typically you say, oh, you get hit by a pitch. But in that particular situation, went off the bat.
Yep.
This is a pop-up to the pitcher. And she does a nice job. Very athletic, Caitlin Miller. She plays great defense. So Nicole is out. So we've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. And we've got Jasmine Colon. And Jasmine, up until this game, has had a really impressive hitting streak. Today it seems.
Back to the pitcher, Miller.
Yeah.
She had some nasty change-ups to Nicole Nano.
Right.
And I would think that she would try
Something similar.
with other batters.
Right.
But she has not.
And that's stroke to the shortstop. And let's see if she throws her out. And she does not. And now it's going to be a play at no play at the plate. So Jenna Indigaro scores. Again, nice job by Coach Fleming to send her. There was no hesitation there by Coach Fleming. He was yelling, home, home, home. So now Goffstown takes a 7-1 lead in the bottom of the fifth inning. And Hannah Baldiga, who stroked a triple at her last at bat, is now up. And she takes a ball.
Alyssa was running as her 2 outs, so she's going to be going anyway. I mean, she went. She was going to home that last at bat.
Yeah, that was Jenna Indigaro.
Oh, it was Jenna.
Yeah, it's okay. And that ball is going to be another single. She's too fast. See, Hannah Baldiga is way too fast. That's a nice play by the second baseman, but that was also kind of in no man's land where the first baseman had to make an attempt at it as well. So Hannah Baldiga gets another hit for Goffstown.
I believe Jenna is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs today, right?
Who?
Jenna?
Again, because we have had budget cuts in the studio, we don't have an official scorer. And according to Brad's union contract, he's only allowed to do the scoreboard. So number 11, the pitcher, is at the plate, Emma Campbell, with runners at first and second base, Jasmine Colon at second, and Hannah Baldiga at first. So, these are the little things here, too, where, a ball that slightly gets away, if you can advance the runners, take away a force play, another big thing. Wow, that was a strike. So I think Blue might be looking to go to Burger King quickly, but I don't know. That one he anticipated a strike. That one looked a little low. That was almost the identical same pitch. So 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs to Emma Campbell. And it's gonna be foul. And again, I know it's a tough angle for you, Butch, on that.
I think we're going to build something up top on the roof. So
Yeah, a roof party deck or something. Now, yesterday we had a center field camera, which we don't have today. So we'll see how that goes. And we
that mainly focused on the pitcher and batter?
it was, and we'll be able to, when it gets edited, we'll be able to see some different angles. That's fouled off. So Emma is doing a nice job battling right now.
I'm just surprised the thrower on the mound won't throw a change
Right.
or a curve or
Right.
something else. She just keeps landing with the fastball.
Yeah. Maybe she'll throw one here.
Oh, she did.
And you called it, my friend. Yeah. So Goffstown picks up another couple of runs here. So it's now a 7-1 lead going into the top of the 6th. She might have heard you, so you got to keep quiet. But,
Maybe they won't watch this video.
you know, it's very similar to – well, they will watch the video because it'll be on YouTube. It's good for them, too.
Oyster River will?
Of course they will. Why wouldn't they?
Oh, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. It'll be you know, listen, it's anybody who watches these games, Butch, can have their own opinions, right? So one thing I noticed, though, Oyster River is only playing with 10, which is a little bit unusual for a girls' varsity. Maybe somebody's on vacation or – right. They play 7 innings. Yes, they do. So
This is the big time now.
so we are now at the top of the order, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So this is where Oyster River can do their bit of damage. So let's see what Emma Campbell can do to keep these batters at bay.
No TV timeouts I see up here.
There's no TV timeouts up here, and yesterday I was talking about how the reason why I like Jenna Indigaro at shortstop so much is because she's a Yankees fan, and so am I. But speaking of which, I mean the Red Sox are struggling right now. I mean, yeah, they're I know, but they're, as I said, they're kind of struggling. I think they'll get their groove. I really do. Their pitching will come around. It will come around. So I know, I heard. So now at the plate is I think it's the shortstop, Sam Walker. And she takes sharply hit to second base, cleanly picked up by Michaela Fleming, and it's a quick put out. So nice job by Michaela. And I talked to Michaela too. We talked about the focus, the mental focus that you need on defense. And she had a little bit of a rough go for a play or two, but she's come on strong since then. Nice pitch by Emma Campbell. I don't even know what that was. So again, this is the pitcher, number 7, Caitlin Miller. That ball's hit to first. Nice stop by Jasmine Colon, and again, a quick 2 outs here. And coming to the plate will be the catcher, Rosie Tarvanen. And hopefully, Rosie, if I pronounced your name correctly. If not, I apologize. So Rosie's had a good job behind the plate as well. She's made a lot of good stops. And she takes first strike there. I tell you, I always admire anybody who catches. It's one of the most difficult positions. It's very tiring. And that ball sharply hit foul to third. So it's one of the toughest positions in sports, I think, because you're constantly, thinking and moving and paying attention. So Emma is 1 strike away for a quick inning here if it were to happen. Fouled off. So nice job by the catcher, number 13, staying alive there.
So the catcher is a lefty thrower.
But a righty hitter.
Yes.
Yeah, which is weird. I shouldn't say weird. It's unusual. It's not weird, right?
And McCampbell is a righty thrower and
Right.
lefty hitter.
Right.
But then again, the whole Campbell family are lefty hitters.
Correct. I think it must have been the dad. He must have felt there was some competitive advantage to being a lefty, right? Quicker out of the box. I think that was his thing, right?
Yeah, you get that extra step towards first base.
That was the off-speed pitch, but I think I might have hit her leg as it came out. So we've got a lot of 2s again. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. That ball is stroked. That could be a home run. No, it's in the gap. And let's see, is there a cutoff? Nice job to the cutoff. So a nice double by Rosie Tarvanen. That ball was smoked into right center field. So now we've got a runner at second base with Cheyenne Milano at the plate. And Cheyenne's the first baseman for Oyster River. So again, this is another situation with a 6-run lead. Just want to make the play at first. And that ball's going to loop in there. Let's see. Okay, another heads-up play by Alyssa Lombardi. She quickly scooped up the ball. She was prepared to throw it home, throw to third, and throw to second. So she, again, very cerebral player. Yeah. So, again, here we go. We've got 2 outs. We've got a little bit of trouble here with runner at first and third, but all they need is 1 out to end the inning. This girl's got incredibly fast bat speed. You know, and she doesn't. It's just incredible.
It sure is. All she's trying to do is get the bat on the ball. And,
yeah, it doesn't seem like, yeah, in terms of the stride. And again, as usual, the first base runner goes to second base. That was uncontested by Goffstown. In that situation, it's good for Oyster River because it eliminates a forced play situation, and it puts another runner in scoring position. And that's a strikeout. So nice job. Emma got a couple of hits off her that particular inning, but she stayed tough and she did her job on that play. So we're going into the bottom of the 6th inning with Goffstown with a lead of 7-1. And so far, I think the Goffstown Grizzlies had a little bit of a rough go for the first couple of innings, a little bit off balance. They still have a couple of hitters who still haven't found their stride yet, but for the most part, most of the lineup has seen the ball pretty well the second time through at least, and they're doing an effective job.
Exactly.
And it's nice there. I mean, Emma got into a little bit of a jam, but you know what? When you have the luxury of a 7-1 lead, you just can kind of settle down, and if you do make a little bit of a boo-boo, it's not going to kill you.
All they need is 3 more outs to seal the deal.
Right.
They're playing heads up, steady ball.
Yeah.
Few pickups in the beginning.
So I'm told by Coach Fleming that he actually uses these videos in his instruction. So hopefully we
just have to figure something out how to get a better view of the left field.
right.
We're sorry, Miss Lombardi, we're not getting any view.
Yeah, and I don't know if it would. The only thing that you could do, Butch, is we could do some sort of a mount where you could do it.
We'll try maybe the middle window next time.
Yeah. The problem is that this is here. Yeah. And I was pointing to you, for those in the audience, we're at the Rand stand at Goffstown High School, and it's a rudimentary setup here, but again, quite effective. It's only high school, and we try to produce a quality show for you guys, and we're pretty excited. So we're going to focus in on the play now. Thank you for the opportunity there, Butch. And now up at the plate is number 4, the catcher. And she's going to loop one to shortstop. Nice play by the shortstop. That was Sam Walker. That was almost like a half swing that she took there, and she's smiling coming back. So up at, yeah. So now we're up the leadoff hitter, number 2, and she hits a nice bunt. And let's see, and that's out. So that was pretty close. She's got some really good speed going down first. The ball went just a little bit too far on that one. I would agree. I think that's where you want to go. So, again, quick outs for Caitlin Miller here. And Alyssa Lombardi takes a strike, although that one looked a little high. But
well, at least we can get Alyssa batting.
Yes, you might not be able to get her in the field. But, again, Alyssa's had a really solid game offensively and defensively. No, I think she got out of the way. Again, the other thing, too, when I watched Alyssa play JV last year, and she was clearly, in my opinion, the best player on the JV team last year. That's why she got called up. But as a catcher, just, she's like a general out there. She's talking it up. Just been very impressed with her leadership abilities. So Allie Lombardi has a 2-1 count, and she pops it up over the first baseman's head. That's going to drop. So that's another error on the first baseman. That was a tough play, but I think she should have had that.
Or the second baseman should have called her off and come over. It's always easier coming from behind
Yeah.
than going backwards.
So we've got Nicole Nanoff, and you're right. I think Caitlin Miller has kind of trying to figure her out a little bit in terms of a combination of fastballs and off-speed pitches. Yeah, so she's throwing her off-speed pitches now because I think she's figured out that Nicole, if she throws her a fastball, that ball might go over the fence. And then it's high fastballs and off-speed pitches. And you know what? In this situation, if you walk her, big deal, you know? That was a nice pitch. A little low, but that was a nice pitch. I mean, to a batter like Nicole Nanoff, I mean, if she hits that, I mean, how is she going to hit it for one? But if she does, it's a tough one to go after. So it's a 2-1 count. And that ball is going to – nice play by Sam Miller, who grabbed that one. What a great play by the shortstop, Sam Miller, to reach out and grab that one. So she's had a couple of really nice plays in the field today. So here we go to the top of the 7th inning, and Goffstown has a 6-run lead. So, again, it's all about execution at this particular point. I think they're going to be facing right now pretty much the middle to the tail end of the lineup.
Yeah, they got through that last inning with the middle of the order. So.
Yeah, so this is the I believe it's the 6th hitter that's coming up. I'm not positive. Again, we don't have our statistician, Butch, so it's kind of hard for us to – scorekeeper, no, he can't help us. So, amazingly, this game started at 11 o'clock, and it is now 12:10, and we are almost through this thing.
Like yesterday, which took 2 hours maybe?
Yeah, yesterday was almost 2 hours. So, for Adam McCune at the GTV studios, this will be a quicker game to edit. And I do want to give a lot of credit to Adam. Adam is our Goffstown Public Television coordinator, who's just doing a phenomenal job, Butch. I mean, just so helpful. Yes, yeah. And the cable access committee, just doing. I know Brad, our scoreboard operator, he's part of that, and they just do a really good job. And this is a phenomenal way for the kids to see themselves on television, for their parents and grandparents, and soon. We are able to put this on YouTube as well, and I know I promised this before, but it looks like we're going to be going live on a couple of games as well. So that ball is, so that ball is in the dirt for so it's a 1-0 count to number 2, Elise Hanley, and she is the number 6 hitter. And that ball is fouled off. She got a little ahead of that one. So we got a lot of talking, a lot of chatter going on the Goffstown bench down here. They want to see this one ended. Haven't seen that off the Goffstown bench for the first few innings. And that ball's a little high, but he calls that one a strike. So at least he's being consistent, Butch. That one looked a little over Elise's head. And that one's off Nicole Nanoff's glove for a leadoff single. Way to hang in there by Elise Hanley. Nice way to stick with it. So we have Elise Hanley on first base, and now up is number 3, Megan Campbell. Megan is the second baseman. That's a strike 1. So I doubt that Oyster River will be stealing on this situation, but certainly the middle infielders need to be paying attention. So that ball is to second, and they try to turn the double play, but unfortunately there wasn't enough time for that one. But you know what? Good job by Nicole Nanoff to throw it over to Michaela Fleming for that force out. Again, you practice this in all the time, and it was really nice to see that executed. So now we've got a substitution, and unfortunately, the way our setup is right now, I don't know who it is. is it the flex player, Caitlin Williams, I believe, number 8. Yes, it's I hear the other team's bench saying, go Caitlins. Yeah, so it's number 8, Caitlin Williams, who's the flex player, and she is now at bat, lefty. So we have got 1 out, and Goffstown has a lead of 7-1 going into the top of the 7th. And it's a nice pitch by Emma Campbell, good cut. So we've got Coach Glenn over deck. He's trying to coach her up a little bit. So it's a 0-2 count to Caitlin Williams. And, ooh, that one was close. Must have been a little outside. That's what I like about it. This is a nice – the coach is doing a great job. He's calling a timeout. He sees the players a little bit tense at the plate. And just a nice, classy job by the coach to – this is what should be done at this level, at all levels, is, get your players relaxed. Yeah. 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 I tell you, of the games that I've watched, I'm very impressed with the coaching staff of all these teams. I mean, the coaches are very level-headed. I'm not sure what's being done at the state level in terms of coaching and training, but just really impressed. Unlike the days, if you remember, there'd be a lot of hemming and hawing. We're not going to mention his name. Yeah, a lot of screaming. All right, so now this is very interesting because Caitlin Williams was in a little bit of a deficit, and now she's got a 3-2 count with 1 out. And unfortunately, she strikes out. So a good way to battle for Caitlin Williams. So now Goffstown is 1 out away from a 7-1 victory. Let's see if they can finish this. So now up is number 16, the leadoff hitter, Kendall Bird, who plays third base. She hits it to first, and Jasmine Colon grabs it, steps over, and that is the game. So Goffstown prevails here on Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, with a 7-1 victory over Oyster River. And again, just to kind of recap this game, we had 2 really good pitchers in Division II, Emma Campbell for Goffstown and Caitlin Miller for Oyster River, who I think pitched really, really well. Unfortunately for Oyster River, there were a few unforced errors on their side that I think gave up probably at least 3 runs, maybe 4. So, again, a great job by Caitlin Miller and the Oyster River team. Goffstown's pitching and their hitting was just a little bit too much for them today. So, Butch, what I'm going to do is we're going to go down to the field, and we're going to interview a couple of the players, and this way we can have Adam in the GTV studio put this into the broadcast. This way it gives the players a little post-game opportunity to talk about the game and their experiences. So we're gonna sign off for now, but hold on tight, folks, because we're going to have some post-game interviews with Coach Fleming and some of his players. And all right. All right, so I'm here with Matt Fleming, coach of the Goffstown Grizzlies team. So, Matt, what do you think of today's game?
You know what, I'm proud of the girls who are a little rusty in the beginning. You know, yesterday defense was a little soft, and I had cautioned them about good teams with good pitchers. You're going to have problems when you play like that. So today they cleaned that up a little bit. A little rusty in the beginning, but they got after it. Left-handed pitcher is a mystery to us. You know, a lot of our hitters struggled hitting her today, but once we jumped on her, we were able to get the ball moving and play, and their defense struggles in the outfield. We were able to attack them a little bit. So.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed with Emma Campbell. I mean, from up above. She had a very commanding game. Some of the jams she got into was literally a result of some unforced errors, but really strong pitching performance once again.
Phenomenal. And, here's the thing. We knew going into the day that their top 4 was good. The scouting report was obviously clear to us, and so we cautioned her about those hitters. She handled them all very well. That one run really was just an unfortunate bad hop in the infield off of Michaela's hand. So at the end of the day, I think Emma pitched a phenomenal game.
Yeah, well, good luck, Coach, and we expect to have some good work in the future, all right?
We're rolling.
Okay, thanks. All right, so I'm here with Hannah Baldiga. Hannah, you had a huge triple. How did that feel?
Oh, it felt good.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what happened. You got into like a hole on that. You got into like an 0-2 hole, and you battled, and then you hit that one. So what happened?
I don't know. I just kept my hands back, and I hit the ball, and it felt good coming off the bat. And I knew it was a
You knew right off the bat you were going to go take 3?
No, but I knew it was a good hit.
You knew it was a good hit. Okay, and also just great defense today. So what do you think of the team's performance?
Oh, we're playing super well right now.
All right, and how do you feel? Good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring in Emma Campbell now. Emma was the pitcher. If you wouldn't mind coming on in and just switch headsets.
Thank you.
So, Emma, you had another great pitching performance today. And it was interesting when we were talking yesterday, when you came up to the press box, you talked about how you trying to figure out what their weaknesses were. And I think you were spot on.
Oh, thank you very much. I was definitely paying attention to the top of the lineup this time, and they were the bigger hitters for the team today.
It seemed as if you were keeping them off speed a little bit. You had off-speed pitches, fastballs, in and out. You were all over the plate, trying to keep them a little bit uneasy. So it seemed it was very effective.
Yeah, I definitely was using all of my movement pitches, and they all seemed to be working really well today.
All right. Well, congratulations and good luck to you the rest of the year. All right.
Thank you.
Take care. And again, Goffstown had a very successful game, 7-1 against Oyster River. A nice job by Caitlin over on Oyster River. Super job by her, Caitlin Miller. But unfortunately for her team, some of the errors that were a little bit costly at the end. So Goffstown prevails 7-1, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.